So I thought I'd have a bit of fun here. You may not have realized, but you can actually use this Hemstitcher almost without any problems whatsoever on this machine. So the biggest problem I found was the thread guide on the needle gets in the way and hits the actual hem-stitching attachment, so it's important that you swing it around. Now I ended up breaking mine, but that's neither here nor there. I've used a piece of wire and it's fine. All I care is it feeds correctly. So I thought it would be fun to show you this in action, as well as a little secret I found to make it work a little bit, the Hemstitcher work a little better. So the first thing I'm going to do is bring up the thread. So there we go. Now, one thing I've always found is it's quite difficult to feed, and I think part of my fault was I actually had pressure on the foot. So by accident I had set this to darning, and when I did this and I ran the hem-stitching attachment in the darning setting, which is the lowest pressure possible, with paper underneath as well, it worked way better than anything I've had before. So we're going to show you that. And I think part of the reason is because it won't feed as well if there's too much pressure. So lowering it as much as possible is good. Oops, I'm just using the wrong thing, the wrong thumb screw here. And as well, because it's so much higher than the standard feed dog plate, of course that makes it automatically have a lot of extra pressure that it might not have had before. So I think all told, setting it to D seems to work quite well. So the next thing I found is by, just grab some clean piece of cloth, fabric here. I should have starched this a little better, but it's fairly starched. Just, it's got a lot of sizing in this fabric from just purchase. What I found is if you put the paper underneath, it really feeds a lot better. And just by the very nature of the attachment, the paper just pulls away without any problems whatsoever. And off we go. So I've got the needle position in the center, I've got the straight stitch, the set in darning setting, so I've got the feed dogs, and I've just put this in the middle to move this feed dogs alive. So I am doing this in red thread. In fact, it's embroidery thread and bobbin thread, which is not perfect for this type of project. However, this will show you up will show up any flaws, as you can imagine, since we've got red thread going on white fabric. Okay, so when you get to the end, slow down and put the needle just till it touches the fabric. Spin. Okay. Now what's really important here is make sure that the piercer goes right beside the stitching and into the hole. And then you will get good piercings. And what I found using this little treatment is you don't seem to need to go over. It doesn't drop stitches in the way I had problems before, so I think we found a lot somewhere on this machine. What you'll see is that, and I don't want to speak too soon, but it's lining up perfectly with the previous piercings, which is impressive because I've never up to now had so much success. And by lowering the foot pressure and using paper, it just is feeding so much better. So we're coming near to the end now. Okay, there we go. And that's it. So let's pull this out and see what we have. So the first thing you're all going to say is, ooh, the paper, what's going to happen to it? Well, if you look at the back, it's just chewed it up, and it in fact just pulls away. It doesn't get involved really much there at all. What you can see now is perfect piercings. So I'm very pleased. I think we've actually got somewhere this time where it's a proper hem stitch. And if you really want, what you can do is, if there's any sort of imperfect holes, you can just shove a stiletto in there and open them up. But generally it's perfect. So I'm really pleased. Finally some success with this attachment. Ah yes, I forgot to say, the feed dog cover that you want is the one that fits the 15 or the 201 style machine. And it will just fit in there perfectly, no problems.